Sturdy, sacred, sovereign. The oak tree has stood at the heart of forests and at the heart of our stories for thousands of years. It has held up the sky, guarded the gates of the otherworld, and rooted itself in the minds of mystics, kings, and shamans alike. Welcome to the Enchanted Wood, where we explore the hidden roots of myth, magic, and the natural world. Today, we journey into the legacy of one of the most revered beings in all of folklore, the mighty oak tree. Before we dive into the magic, we must honor the oak's living truth. Ecologically, it is a titan. Oaks support more life than any other native tree in many temperate ecosystems. In the UK alone, over 2,300 species depend on the oak. In North America, white oaks and red oaks are similarly crucial. Their vast root systems form underground alliances with mycorrhizal fungi, creating living networks that communicate, share resources, and sustain forest life. These networks are ancient, and some believe, conscious in their own way. In a very real sense, oak trees build and sustain worlds. Is it any wonder ancient peoples saw them as divine? Across the ancient world, the oak tree was often seen as the axis between heaven and earth. In Greek mythology, the oak was sacred to Zeus, king of the gods. At the oracle of Dodona, priests listened to the wind whispering through oak leaves to divine the will of Zeus. The Romans inherited this reverence, associating the oak with Jupiter and using oak wreaths to crown victorious generals. In Norse myth, the oak belonged to Thor. Its tendency to attract lightning made it a sacred vessel of divine force. In Slavic folklore, Perun, the thunder god, resided in oaks. His battles with the underworld serpent Veles were said to cause storms that shattered trees. Among the Baltic tribes, lightning-struck oaks were treated as holy sites. Offerings were left at their roots. Some were even carved into idols. The oak wasn't just a symbol, it was a living shrine, a tree where gods walked, where oracles spoke, where kings made vows and sought counsel. In the Celtic world, the oak was central to druidic practice. The word druid may derive from the Proto-Celtic druid, oak knower, or wise one of the oak. To the Celts, 3 trees were sacred: oak, ash, and thorn. But the oak was king. It represented strength, wisdom, and protection. Oak groves were natural temples. Rituals, sacrifices, and seasonal festivals like Beltane and Lugnasad were often held under oaks. The rare and powerful mistletoe was most sacred when found growing on oaks. Harvested with golden sickles under the full moon, it was used for fertility rites, healing, and protection. The oak was also linked to the Wheel of the Year. In Celtic myth, the Oak King and the Holly King battled for dominance as the seasons turned, oak ruling the waxing year, from Yule to midsummer. To the Druids, the oak was not just a tree. It was a teacher, a portal, and a living axis mundi, connecting earth to sky, past to future, and mortal to divine. The oak's mythic reach spans the globe. In Welsh mythology, the hero Bran the Blessed is associated with a giant oak. After his death, his head, imbued with prophecy, was buried facing France beneath the White Hill, now the Tower of London. In English folklore, oaks were thought to be the homes of fairies and woodland spirits. Whispering to them could bring luck or mischief. In Serbian epic poetry, the oak is the tree under which oaths are sworn and duels are fought. Its presence lends authority and spiritual gravity. In Native American traditions, various tribes regarded the oak as a sacred giver of life, especially for its acorns, which were ground into flour. Its strength was mirrored in warrior initiation rituals. In Christian symbolism, the oak became associated with martyrdom, steadfastness, and even the tree of knowledge from Eden. Many medieval churches were built near oak groves, blending pagan and Christian reverence. Wherever the oak grows, it takes root in human imagination, not just as a tree, but as a storyteller, a protector, and a mirror of the human soul. With its mighty presence, it is no wonder that the majestic oak has its roots deep in the hearts of magical practice. Oak has been used in spellwork and ritual magic for centuries. Here are just a few traditional and modern magical uses. Acorns, carried for protection and prosperity. Placed in windows to guard against storms or witches. Buried at the foundations of homes for strength and longevity. Oak bark, burned for purification. Used in healing brews or to anoint tools of divination. Ground into powders for protective circles. Its leaves, used in spells for justice, courage, and truth. Sometimes worn or placed in shoes to instill bravery. Its branches, carved into wands and staffs. Oak wands are ideal for commanding energy, protection spells, and rituals of sovereignty. And lightning-struck oak, considered extremely magical. The wood from such trees was thought to carry divine energy, used in talismans and charms of immense power. Oak magic isn't flashy. It's not for manipulation or glamour. It's foundational. It's about strength, legacy, grounding, and divine connection. Many cultures believed in a world tree, a great trunk that united heaven, earth, and the underworld. And often, that tree was an oak. In Slavic, Baltic, and Germanic traditions, the oak stood at the center of the world. Birds nested in its branches. Spirits lived in its roots. Gods descended through it. The tree was a map of existence. When you look at an oak, you're seeing the shape of the cosmos, the cycles of life and death, the climb from chaos to order, the path from the mundane to the magical. Through empire and war, through fire and storm, the oak still stands. As sacred groves vanish and ancient stories fade, the oak waits, ready to share its wisdom with those willing to listen. It is not just a tree, it is a temple, a teacher, a guardian. The oak can live for over 1,000 years. The things they have seen, the changes they lived through, the stories they could tell. So the next time you walk past an oak, think of what it has seen as it stretched out its branches and stood as a monument to time and endurance. Perhaps lean against it, sit under its protection and listen. The wise old oak has something to teach us all. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the myth and magic of the oak tree. If this story stirred something ancient in you, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more videos exploring the sacred world around us. Or if there is a tree you are interested in hearing about in a future video, drop a comment and let us know. Until next time, stay rooted and stay enchanted.